Yes, we are, sir.
All
Yeah,
right,
with you,
thank
sir.
you very much. Now, the next hierarchy in every organization are the accountable. And usually for you to be an accountable, it means that you will not just be skilled, but you'll be certified to a certain extent academically and professionally. They are two different things. And so we need to destroy the mindset that what I need to excel in life is skill. Gaining a skill is one aspect of education outside the four walls of the classroom. Don't forget, unlocking opportunities, maximizing education beyond the classroom. Having understand this foundation and having debunked mindset, the next thing is what approach should you have to education? Before we begin to see how to maximize opportunities beyond the classroom, first of all, we've known what education is. We've destroyed negative mindset or wrong mindset as regards education. The next question in view is what approach or the healthy approach towards education. If you are not in, you have to be informed first before you are educated. If not, you will miss it. Because it is not every form of knowledge, expertise, or skill that is needed for you to excel. And frankly speaking, you don't have all the time in life to begin to gain all the information and aspect of education that are available. It will be a great waste of time. You need to be sure of your prospects. You need to be sure of your view of life. You need to be sure of your area of expertise. You need to be sure of the area that you want to be of solution to humanity, to environment, and the society. Knowing this, you will be then informed on the right kind of education you need, or the right kind of information you need, or the right kind of equipping you need. And then you will know how to apply it. It has been said that knowledge is power. However, it is not absolutely true. Do you know what is power? The application of knowledge is power, not just knowledge. We have a lot of people that are vast in knowledge, but still suffer in areas that they are knowledgeable about. So the idea is not just to be knowledgeable. The idea is to be skilled in applying the knowledge you have to productivity. This is what education is. And so, before we begin to talk about education, before we begin to counsel on how to maximize educational opportunities, especially beyond the classroom, you need to understand the right and healthy approach you must have towards education. Questions you need to ask yourself. I don't need every information out there. I need many information as much as possible. Very true. However, I need to understand the areas I need to major on and the areas I need to minor on. That is the first, healthy mindset we need to have towards education. What are the right information I need to excel in a specific field or in the field that I want to be of solution to humanity? Having asked yourself that question, the next thing we now want to begin to, open our minds to is how to access the right opportunities when it comes to education. I once had a friend and a mentor who was a medical student some years ago, and he said, Joshua, if I'm to study anything outside medicine, I'll learn it by the roadside. Now, you will misjudge the statement if you don't understand what he's saying. He said, if I'm to study anything aside from medicine, I will not learn it in school. I will learn it at the roadside. Now, what my friend was trying to communicate is that For him, he has seen that the system that surrounds him, which was the tertiary institution, is currently gaining education at that point in time, cannot provide the right tools and techniques he needed to survive, or he needed to gain professionalism and expertise in certain aspects of life. It is not enough, or have not been impressive enough to meet up with that requirement. And so the reason why he believes if it is medicine, he will need to be in school is because of the various professionalism aspects, licensing that has to do with the medical field. Now, he was not being serious, or how will I put it? He was not very particular about that statement. It's just a figure of speech that he's using to, communicate a phenomenon. So the idea is that what he was trying to communicate, and I learned from that day, is that the 4 walls of school or classroom as we know it may be limited when it comes to gaining certain expertise that you want needs to succeed or excel in an endeavor or in an aspect of life. So in as much as we come to appreciate the schooling system, it is a very beautiful structure that has the right foundation. It only happens that along the line, it tends to be abused. However, the idea of the schooling system that we have now is a very powerful system. Because many years ago, what we have is individuals that tend to learn on themselves, tend to carry out research by themselves. And when they have a breakthrough or an idea, they call for meetings, they call for gathering, where you see elites and people gather together and they begin to communicate the ideas. Once the idea is seen to make sense and practicable, it is adopted, documented, and practiced. Scientists like Michael Faraday in his days never had school system. This was the formal way of communicating your ideas. However, down the line, we discovered that we have many people coming up with information on certain field. And because those informations are documented over time, it was decided that in order to have a system that can quickly equip people very fast with the information they need to excel in a specific field, let us have a structure where people come to learn. We admit them. We have trained professionals in a specific field that comes to lecture them, that comes to, interact with them, indoctrinate them into that field. And over time, because of the idea that institutions wants to, guide certain operations as regards certain aspects of knowledge, they begin to form institutions like accrediting bodies to license an institution that will be, created to pass certain knowledge in a field, so that there could be a standard that will be used to communicate information, to have uniformity across different aspects of society. So if you want to excel in the field of medicine, because of the rudiment and the delicate effect of medicine, because it deals with human lives, aside from the schooling system, external institutions were created to, regulate the affairs in medicine in 2 ways. One way is to create standards that must be taught to anyone that will want to practice medicine, to get a level of uniformity in anywhere you want. Thank you very much. I love that. Accountability.
Sir, hello, sir. Sorry to interrupt you, sir. You cannot share your screen, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Yes, I can do that now. All right, can we see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we've seen the difference between education and school. We understand why we need, we've seen why we need to understand the information we seek. You are not to major on every information out there. And then we've talked about destroying certain mindsets about the schooling system. And one of it is that all you need is skill and not certificate. All you need is certificates and not certificates. The truth is you need both. We've seen that school is not a scam, and that is where we are currently at right now. So I was talking about the fact that other regulatory bodies or external institutions were created to hold accountability to a specific field of knowledge, that not just that they must have a standard to be taught alone, but they must have system that regulates the professionals that emerge in that field of knowledge, so that we can curtail their behavior. In case they misbehave with human lives in the future, we can seize their license, we can punish them. Who will see this and not appreciate the schooling system? So never you think school is a scam. As much as we want to explore other fields of knowledge, other opportunities of education outside the four walls of the classroom, we must first of all appreciate the classroom system. Right from the primary, to the secondary level, to our tertiary institutions, to our postgraduate level, we need to come to the place where we first of all appreciate this system. And if we must emerge as individuals that we create solutions later on in the future, we can revisit this system, see why they are collapsing, and restructure them when we have the opportunity to do so. And then the third mindset, of course, you need to break as well is all I need is certifications alone, certifications. No. You need skill, you need expertise, and certification. Now, at this point, we want to see practical ways to identify and access educational resources outside the school. Having appreciated the schooling structure, very beautiful and effective structure. Do you know that the very essence of civilization in any society depends on her educational system, and the most powerful is the schooling system? When the Roman Empire wants to conquer any territory, they invade that territory, and after doing that, the strategy for colonization of the Roman Empire, unlike other empires like the Babylonian Empire, the Assyrian Empire, when they conquer a territory, they migrate individuals from that territory, take them to their empire while replacing people from their empire to that territory. The Roman system don't do that. The Roman system, what they do is when they conquer your territory, they elect people that will be loyal to them in order to, from the indigenous of that territory, to lead that territory, but the leaders will be answerable to the Roman system, and the Roman system will now come and institute schools and educational system, begin to train and teach and enlighten the indigenous on the Roman culture and indoctrinate them. And so the empire that colonized Nigeria, the Britain Empire, was colonized by the Roman Empire. And so the Britain adopted the same system, which is why today in Nigeria, our official language is English. You see an average Nigerian with his suit standing at his balcony, sipping his hot tea, even when the temperature is hot. Why? He's feeling like an Englishman. This is how powerful the schooling system is. Now, having appreciated the schooling system, what are practical ways to identify and access educational resources outside the four walls of a classroom? And I've also established that in order to answer this question effectively, you need to know what kind of information you are looking for and why you need that information. And so one of the ways to access information, to access skills that will help you be productive on certain aspects of life as regards education, number one is professional institutions. Professional institution. Now, a professional institution is different from an academic institution. One of the things I teach over time is CV writing. There's a column or section of your CV where you have your academic certifications or academic educational background. There is another provision in a CV or resume where you have professional certification or professional academic background. Don't just end with academics. There are many areas today that academics cannot provide solution to by itself. There are many institutions and organizations seeking expertise from individuals, and what they are looking out for is not necessarily your educational background, but what professional skill do you have? And that is why you see someone that is proficient academically in accounting will still strive to get a professional education as a chartered accountant via, taking advantage of professional bodies like ICANN. We have various professional body, professional skills like human resource management, health, safety and environment, project management, customer relations management, and the list is endless. Now, the beauty about this, professional skills is that it creates a structure where academic expertise can be adopted or practiced. How do I mean? E.g., I have proficiency in physics as my educational background, so I have a BSc in physics. I can teach physics, I understand physics, but aside from teaching physics, there is nothing else I can do with my knowledge in physics. Don't you know we have people like that? In fact, they are professors in physics. They have the knowledge in physics, but aside from having that knowledge, there is nothing else they can do practically with that knowledge. For instance, assuming aside from being proficient in understanding structures in physics, I gain professional skills, possibly in the line of project management. I now know that there is no field of endeavor that is not into projects. Now, with my knowledge in project management, I can now be a consultant in my field of expertise, which is physics, and I can now begin to see practical ways I can, put to use my skill or knowledge in physics. One of those ways is impartation to forthcoming individuals that will need the knowledge I have. So I become a consultant in, possibly an academic consultant to teach physics, or a consultant to advise organizations on certain skills or certain areas that they need the knowledge that I have to solve a specific problem. It could be an engineering organization, it could be a telecommunication organization that needs my knowledge, e.g. in electromagnetism, that need my knowledge, e.g. in physics electronics, that need my knowledge, e.g. in photoelectronics. Another skill or another professional, skill that one can have is human resource management. There is no standard organization out there without a human resource department. The idea of HRM is the ability you have or the skill you have as an individual to manage people, not just in any organization. It becomes a skill in any leadership position you occupy to manage the people around you to achieve their loyalty in order to be productive on a specific endeavor. And that's how we have many people proficient in certain academic knowledge and are very arrogant because they cannot manage people. They cannot psychologically empathize with the need of people, with the need of followers to be great leaders that will be a source of motivation to them to bring out the best in them. And so one of the areas you can explore outside the four walls of the university system, the four walls of the classroom system, is gaining professional certifications. That is one. Another is gaining skills in certain productive aspects of life, aside from professional and aside from academics. I would like to put it craftsmanship. Craftsmanship can be gaining skills in certain sports, Hello, are we still together? Can you still hear me?
Very well, sir. We can hear you.
All right, so thank you very much. Can be gaining skill in certain sports. There are different sports that we have. Can be gaining skill in certain, it could be graphics designing, it could be different form of craft. These are endeavors that are open to you to maximize, education outside the four walls of classroom. And there are many platforms that you can, take advantage of. We are now in an age where you can have access to whatever kind of information you need outside the four walls of the classroom. The internet is so vast, there is almost no field of endeavor that you cannot find detailed information in. Absolutely almost no field of endeavor. And there are web-based platforms, web-based institutions that can help or foster, education in this field. For example, one way to gain education is this very webinar and meeting that is organized. Now, as you are listening to me, you are being informed, you are being educated, you are being empowered to make right decisions. That is why I really want to commend the organizers of this meeting and this institution. So this is one of the ways. Conferences, seminars, workshops, webinars like these are areas to access educational resources outside school. You are sitting right wherever you are at your end over there, and you are being educated because you have been empowered with skill that you can apply and see change in your life. That is another aspect. And so, at this point in time, I want to leave the floor open for interaction. I still have many things I want to download to us. However, let's interact at this point in time. And I need to respond from 1, 2, or 3 people. Now, we've seen and identify ways we can have access to information outside the four walls of school. Now, who can give me or relate practical example of an institution, organization, web-based platform that exists that can provide solutions outside school? Anyone?
Kindly indicate so I can be unmuted.
Yeah, if you want to speak, you may raise your hand so that you can be unmuted from. We have so many institutions, so I want us to access some. Do you have ideas about certain institutions that fall in the category that can offer educational equipping outside the four walls of school? Let's briefly interact.
Sir, they said they didn't get the question, sir.
Okay. Now, I've talked about practical ways you can access, educational resources outside school. Now, I want to narrow it down to certain institutions, certain web-based platform, or certain, the resources itself. Yes, someone is raising their hand. Iyanoluwa, thank you. Let's hear. Please, we can unmute her so that we can hear. So what I'm saying is, what can we narrow it down? Can we give example of organization or institution that offers such education?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, sir. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Audibly.
can hear you.
Hello, please, can you hear me, please?
Very clearly, we can hear you.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the teaching so far. So some other web-based platform that we can actually learn includes like Coursera, like Udemy, and a lot more. So they offer courses, professional courses like Google Analytics, anything we just want to learn. So platform like Coursera, platform like Udemy, like, and a lot more. So we have more web-based.
Absolutely correct. Thank you. Absolutely correct. We have other people raising their hands. Let's unmute them. Let's hear their perspective. Thank you very much for that wonderful, wonderful contribution. I can see
Yes, Abu, you have the floor. You can talk. Unmute yourself.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me. Please, can I get the feedback?
very clearly. We can hear you.
Okay, so talking about Chartered Institute, I actually work in an organization that we have professional courses from 10 different chartered institutes. And then I know of CIPM, which is for personnel management and all of that. I think I know of some other professional institutes that offer professional courses. I think that's all.
Thank you very much. Very beautiful contribution. I so much love the response. Thank you very much. Now, we've seen some of the practical ways we can, access educational resources outside school. And the list is endless. We have Khan Academy. Now, there are many platforms, which is what I want to encourage you to do. Some of you that are on this meeting that will have, interest in it. There are many platforms that, you can partner with in order for you to bring out the skill that you have within you. Are you skilled in certain areas? There are people that need access to this information and they can't get them in the four walls of classroom. There are different organizations you can partner with. This is what I can do. This is my portfolio. This is the skill I have. You may not have the authority or the jurisdiction to license or certify them in that field. But these organizations have been positioned to do that. And so what happens is you become a trainee, you prepare modules to communicate this knowledge, and then you are certified by such organization. And to many individuals, what they need is not certification. What they need is the knowledge, is the skill. So they are not interested in certification. You can create opportunities that, that knowledge will be impacted to them. And this is one of the ways you can be of, solution or impact to humanity. Whether you get income from it or not depends on your choice. And so these are practical ways, of communicating information that we need. Why is this very important? Because I love the organizers of this, meeting. Why is education important? I started by saying that if any nation must excel, they must take education very serious. Many people have misunderstood these statements, and so they overlook education. They feel there's a mindset that people have that what is the idea of going to school, getting a certificate, and no job is available? That is another wrong mindset, because that is not the idea. We've been made to believe that it's a wrong thinking and indoctrination that have been a virus right from start, simply because in the earlier stage of the nation Nigeria, there is a system that so long as you finish, you get your first degree, there's a PGO 504 waiting for you, there's a job waiting for you, and and because of that mindset, it has limited. The idea is not to get a job. The idea first is to be equipped with the right skill. You may or may not need to get a job immediately. The idea is how can you make a living from your skill? What solution can you provide with what you know? If your academic qualification is not enough, seek a professional qualification. If it is not enough, seek craftsmanship. If it is not enough, seek diverse aspects that can help you be of practical solution. Singapore as a nation wrote a book called Knowledge Economy, and it's how to transform the economy of a nation, from zero to excel, to a state where the nation excel with practical knowledge. The idea is we've not known how to, identify knowledge. Dispense knowledge. And this is where I now want to dwell in. Now, the ability, to dispense the knowledge you have to create solution as an entrepreneur. Briefly, let's break certain wrong mindset about being an entrepreneur. Number one, being an entrepreneur is all about buying and selling. That makes you a businessman. It goes beyond buying and selling. In fact, you may be an entrepreneur without owning a business. The second thing is, if we've been taught by motivational speakers to believe that rejoice whenever you see problem, it's an opportunity for you to make money. Well, it is true, but they've taught it in a way that makes it not true. And so people believe that all I need is to be seen is problem. Once there's problem, I can get a living. So long as I'm seeing a problem, I'm going to solve that problem. Not really solving that problem, the idea is feeding on that problem to make profit. E.g., during the cash scarcity, many people took advantage of the situation, to get POS, and they believe that by doing that, they are feeding on a problem to make profit. That is not entrepreneurship. So during fuel scarcity, people believe that let me get fuel, let me keep my fuel, let me hoard my fuel, and then sell it at a higher price. And they believe by doing that, they are feeding on a problem to make income. That is not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is not feeding about problem. Your knowledge or your education is not to make you feed on problem. It becomes useless and abused. However, it is to put in structures to turn the situation around positively. And every individual that have excelled in life as an entrepreneur are people that stand in this category. People that there is a problem and they give actual solution to the problem, not just feeding on the problem to make profit. So, for example, we have a specific challenge in this nation, which is the idea of electricity. Okay. And now there are many people that might make profits out of this, situation. However, an entrepreneur could begin to think that transportation has been a challenge and has been very expensive so far. With the knowledge I have, what can I do? While thinking, you discover the challenge with the current economy now is because we depend on fuel. Are there practical means of, developing transport systems that do not feed on fuel, on fossil fuel, whether diesel or PMS? Can I be real with you that there are electric cars walking around this nation? Now, you may think that may be a solution. As an entrepreneur, having identified that may be a solution, then the second problem, we have no electricity in this country. Then you begin to bring in practical ways to solve it. Can I be real with you? In this same country, I've seen solar vehicles working. So these are practical ways, to make business, to make income, to create solution with the knowledge you have, and not just feeding on challenges. And so the idea is not getting the information. The idea is what to be able to do with the information, because it is not knowledge that is power, but the application of knowledge That is how. So my session is supposed to end in the next 4 minutes. And so I want to leave the floor open. I don't know the structure the organizers have in place for questions. I know there are people that have questions. Possibly there's a section for that. I think the floor is open for the next phase, of the meeting.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. We have some questions on ground already, so I will unmute the panelists so that they can undo that, because there are a lot of questions coming in.
All right, we can have them.
At Ianolua, kindly unmute yourself.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for that wonderful session, and it's such an insightful one and impactful one. But before I proceed, please, if you have questions, kindly signify, or you use the chat to actually drop your questions, please, as this goes on. If you have any questions bothering your mind pertaining how to leverage on professional courses, how to leverage on things to actually embark on that can actually improve one's skills beyond the educational classroom that we all know, kindly raise up your hand, signify by raising up your hand using the reactions on the menu, or you drop your questions on the chat. So thank you so much, sir. And as the session we're going on, there are some questions that I have in mind and that has been bothering me in person, so that I would like to ask.
All right,
Okay,
please go
sir.
ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So I would like to ask that, how can I effectively network and connect with professionals in my field of interest outside of my educational institution? Like, how can I connect with them? Fine, I'm a graduate, but I don't really know how to network with them to have adequate, to have exposure and more experience regarding that. How can I network with them?
Thank you very much. That is a very beautiful question. Now, one of the fundamental way you can do that is belonging to a professional body. And that is one basic way you can network with individuals, especially in your field of endeavor or in this field that you gain expertise. Whether academic or professional, there are not just regulatory bodies, there are professional bodies where you can find like minds in your field of endeavor that you can be in touch with and you can interact with. Each as an engineer, we have unions and professional bodies of the engineering field, same way in the medical field, the same way in the legal field, the same way in the professional courses line like human resource management, project management professional, customer relations management, health, safety and environment. One of such organizations that I know, that of which I have affiliation with, and I'm actually a manager and a trainee with, is the International Institute of Project and Safety Management. We have the International Institute of Project Management, a National Institute of Project Management that is for those that have skills or is developing skill in project management. We have the International Institute of Health Management, of safety management for those that are gaining skill in health, safety and environment. We have the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management as a professional body for those gaining skill in HRM. So professional body are one ways you can network, meet like minds, because if you belong to a professional body, what happens is time to time there are conferences that are being called upon and you get that notification because you are a part of that professional body. You can, come to present a paper, maybe on research or what you've been doing over the, months or years that are relevant to that field, and it can be adopted in that field. Certain things like scholarships, awards can be given in that professional body. In fact, one major advantage is recommendations and job applications. There are certain jobs you will never see in the public, but people are getting those jobs. Why? It is only communicated in professional bodies. So that is one practical way you can tend to network in your field. We have Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, just like one of, someone made mention of the other time. I know International Institute of Project and Safety Management is an organization that is into capacity building in human resource management, health, safety and environment, customer relations management, and project management professional. They've trained various individuals in different stratas of society. Of recent, they conducted a training with the Federal Institute of Occupational Health and Safety of Osun State. The naval officers, Nigerian Army officers, professionals, lecturers in the university, information technologists, and different, professionals in various fields. Imagining belonging to a professional bodies with these individuals that have relevance in that specific, field of endeavor you have expertise in, you know what it could do to you in terms of connections. So that is one practical way, that can be achieved. I don't know if I did justice to your question.
I think I need to.
3 people raising their hands. Well, whenever we got her, we may want to confirm if she's satisfied with the rest.
I think our network went off. Ibekwe Aldo, kindly unmute yourself. Ibekwe Aldo.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma. I'm so grateful for the topic we are treating on. Please, my question here is, there are some, let me say, okay, some courses one was opportune to take, and then the person didn't get the certificate. In this aspect, does it mean that the person will not be able to get the required, maybe get the job because of there was no certificate, even if the person has the knowledge of it? So in this essence, what would the person do?
All right, another beautiful question. Now, remember, while starting, I said that if you believe you can only survive or excel with skill and without certification, you are wrong. And if you believe that all I need is certification and without skill, you are also wrong. You need both. And so there is a certain level of, opportunity. I think we are getting a feedback from someone that is not muted. There's a certain level of opportunities that you can get by being skilled in a field or a course, but you'll be limited without certifications, because one of the ways you will prove that you have expertise in that field is your certification. Now, at the point of outsourcing, organization or stakeholders may not have all the time to test you to know if you are proficient with a skill. But one way you could immediately prove your competence is through your certification. And of course, you know that you will not have opportunity to be part of professional bodies, regulatory bodies, without being certified and inducted into that professional body. So the truth is, certification is very important. You can still excel with skill, especially if you can prove it, but it will take a lot of effort in order to convince your prospect that you have this skill. Or one easy way that can be achieved, you have track records before. Even if you have track record for certain, how will I use it, documentations and legalistic processes, it will require a certification from you. The organization might be limited on how to interact with you without certification, especially because of legal implications and many other, official challenges. So certification is key. So, you may want to ensure you get certification, but like I said, success can still be achieved without certification, but it can be very difficult and it can place you at a limited place.
Thank you, sir, for that beautiful response. Thank you so much, sir. Let me call on another person, Omolola Ayonwuse. You kindly unmute yourself and ask a question.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and
Good evening.
thanks to the speakers. Really, I just kept, writing and writing. Thank you for that beautiful presentation, sir. Yeah, so
Welcome.
you've answered one of my questions, with that is in line with the question you just answered. But secondly, I want to ask that, okay, I had, let me use myself as an instance. I have my first degree in a particular, okay, in a Greek now, but ever since I finished school, I have, right from my service here, I had never worked in any setting of such. I've been working, as a development worker, a social worker. Everything I've done is in that line. So then I had to, because I saw it and I wanted to build a career in it, and I applied for a second degree in that, in social work. So there is this person that now told me that, instead of, like, the person was like, you are just wasting your money on them masters, and that these days it is professionals, it is all these professionals that are actually ruling and all that. So the person was like, why not do ICPM, like, so Institute of Charter Personnel Management. So the person was like, that instead of me going for, so me, I now told the person that what I feel is, okay, now I studied that Greek for my first degree, and the next thing is I'm doing a professional certificate. For me, I was saying it that, okay, even if I'm going to do it, at least let me, in the aspect of the academic, let me change, like, let me try to rewrite my academic background, and that is one of my reasons. So my question now is, like, am I wrong? Is the person right? That's one. And then secondly, how do we now, we were talking about this professional certificate, like, take for instance this ICPM. The person told me that, it's just like it's just like ICANN. It's something that you have to, like, they are in phases, they are in levels, and there are some professional courses that they are just at once. Take for instance, I'm not sure if I'm right o, so I stand to be corrected, like a project management, you know I think it's a one-off thing. So when we are talking about, if there are, let me say, permit me to use the word hierarchies in professional certifications, like those ones that you have to, that are one-off, and those ones that, you have to, they are in process, they are in stages, you do one, you complete and the likes. Which one, like, are they all in the same, as long as it is a professional, or
All
how,
right.
how is their ratings? How can we rate
All
them?
right. I understand your question. Now, the question you asked is loaded because actually you've asked three questions at the same time. Now, let me start by saying that to correct your notion in project management is not one of, there is project management, which is the basic stage in project management, and then we have
uh,
Agile Scrum, which is leadership methodology in project management. The truth is, there is almost no professional course that is just at once. Yes, you can do it once. However, as you go down the line, there are still further equippings above that you will still need later on. Now, let me also say that there is no professional course that is important than the other in terms of hierarchy. It depends, just like when we talk about education. That's why I said, you have to know what you want. You have to know what you need and go for that. Not all information is available for you to major on. So it could be human resource management, it could be personnel management, it could be customer relations management, it could be project management, it could be chartered accounting, it could be health, safety, and environment, the list is there. There is no one that stands above the other. It only depends on the area of knowledge that you need. Also, for the counsel you were given, the truth is none of you is wrong. Both of you have a point. Now, he telling or she telling you that what you need is certifications in this endeavor, it is true. However, to every knowledge or decision, there is limitation. So what you should now look at, okay, what is the pros and cons? What is the advantage and disadvantage of my decision? What is the advantage and disadvantage of the information I was given? And then you can now look and judge the best. Yeah, the truth is you may not necessarily need to go through a second degree. You may want to switch in via professional certification. It is good. However, it is also limited. You going through a second degree sealed your academics expertise in that field. Later on in the future, you can dive into professional certification. And so it will be double honors. However, you can still excel going through the line of professionalism. However, it is limited in a way. So I will advise that you shouldn't revoke your admission. Of course, you started, I believe you've paid your school fees, enjoy the process. But you can still take advantage of professional certifications later on because it is very important. Like I told you, professional certifications create the environment or the skill for you to adopt or to implement the skill you have in the academic field. So enjoy your journey. However, bear this information in mind. Maybe one of these days, possibly the organizers of this wonderful meeting might want to put in a meeting in place to help you on how to communicate what you have. By communicating what you have, another word I can give to it is interview. Many people do not get to excel or get opportunities in the field that they would love to function in because they don't know how to interact and communicate their expertise. So take, for instance, you have a specific certification, but you have no working experience in that line. There is a way to communicate and get an opportunity. You have an experience in a field, but you have no academic, knowledge, certification there. Maybe no professional certification there. There are ways you can communicate, to land yourself that opportunity. The list is endless. However, it shouldn't mean because you have proficiency in communication, you should not do the needful. You will always be limited at one point in time. So it is very important, just as we've established, to seek other forms of education outside the university system. But you're already on this journey. I'm encouraging you to see it through. I'm not discouraging you, and I wish you success, in your new choosing field of endeavor, which is why I want to advise everyone here. Before you go into definitely I know we are in a kind of environment that some of us are not given the course we want to study. I understand what it means. So professional certification is an opportunity for you to realign yourself later on in life. However, if you have the opportunity, try as much as possible to make the best decision right from time. I don't know if there are still questions. I have one important thing I need to talk about before we end, which is what role do internship, volunteer work, or part-time job play in gaining real-world experience and enhancing education? So let's see if there are still questions, then I will
Yes,
possibly finish with that.
sir, we still have one more question.
All right.
Omar Abdurazak, kindly unmute yourself.
Okay, good evening.
Omotesha,
Good evening, sir.
good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for this very insightful meeting. I really I was able to pick a lot from it, and it's really an eye-opening for me to be able to be present and to witness this meeting. Thank you very much.
I'm very glad. You're welcome.
So I just want to just ask it's more like advice per se. I just want to ask what advice do you think you can give? What advice do you feel you can give to a recently graduated person in this Nigeria economy, trying to figure out his way, trying to navigate himself, to be able to be relevant in the community. Maybe you get what I mean, to be able to okay, to
I
be able to,
understand.
if it's only just BSc alone, what advice do you think you can give to that kind of person trying to navigate himself into a career that it's something that it will not be only education alone. Maybe you get what I mean.
Absolutely, very important question. I think this is I should rate this question very high. Very, very important question. Thank you for that question.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
the first thing you need to do is don't rush, because if you rush to get something doing, you will rush out. I can advise you practically because I've gained experience in different job, in different endeavor through the course of my life. Before I answer your question, for you to understand that experience is very key in communicating advice here. Or because of our time, let me not go into that. But generally, what I want to do is to don't rush, settle down, know what you want. Know this is what I enjoy doing, this is what I would love to do. I've met some persons that what they told me what I want is teaching job. I just want to teach. I love teaching. If I can get this, that is what they want. And that kind of individual, because he knows this is my job, he or she will focus on it, develop, training, certification, and experience in it. Over time, it's called such individuals will own many schools across different parts of Nigeria. He or she may start small, but because they know where they are going. So my first thing is, okay, you've studied this. It might not be what you applied for, but then you could begin to make choices just as we've communicated to get relevant education and information outside the schooling system that is necessary to make you excel. Know what you want and pursue it. It may not be so income producing at first, but if you stick with it, you will excel. Which is, in fact, your question that you've asked now have led me to the thing I want to say about volunteerism, internship, part-time job, and everything. There are two types of people that we have upon finishing the university. Number one is those that have the money to begin to start the organization. And that is not enough, because if you do that, you'll soon crash, because you still need many skills aside from what school can offer to do that. There are those that do not have the resources to start something substantial. The most best and immediate way they can survive is to seek employment, which is why you need to do that. You need to begin to seek what you love and what you can effectively do. And one way, of course, in gaining experience, knowledge, and expertise in any field, number one, is through volunteerism. Volunteerism is one of the easiest and quickest means of getting appointments. In volunteerism, you are not really saying they should pay you basic salary. Most organizations can be benevolent enough to pay you certain allowance as upkeep, but may not be bogus enough to be called a salary. However, as you are volunteering, you are learning, you are gaining expertise, you are developing yourself, and you are having something you can impute in your CV. E.g., if I love telecommunication field, I can apply as a volunteer in MTN. It wouldn't take them much to bring me in, because they know they don't need much finance as salary for my case. When you want to volunteer, look for the organization you love. There was a time I was a volunteer in University of Ibadan because I love the field of knowledge communication. That volunteering endeavor has opened many doors for me. At the process of the volunteerism, I was part of a project committee that won a research grant. You could know what it means. So choose big when it comes to volunteerism. Choose the organization that can afford you the knowledge and skill you need, and that you can be proud to put in your CV, that tomorrow if you apply for a job, because that organization is in your CV as where you worked in before, you become a target. So internship, volunteering, even part-time jobs, They are one of ways of developing yourself in a field. Have that mindset that this is where I'm going. Any decision you now make should now, create a scenario where it will lead you to the destination you are going. So if I'm applying for a job, if I'm picking up a business, if I'm applying for a skill, any self-development, what I'm looking at is the vision ahead. And that's the difference between a vision and a mission. A vision is, this is what I want eventually for my life. This is where I'm going. The mission is, how do I get there? Any information you begin to make now should, one way or the other, lead you to that place you are going. Don't be like me that I've made many decisions. In fact, during my service year, I served, at the university. While serving, I applied for a customer care job that does customer service for MTN Airtel. Before you know, I have tried, I got another job in an E3. I was just frustrated moving around till I decided that, what do I even really want? So the idea is not just to first get jobs, because with job you can be frustrated. The idea is to sit down and be sincere with yourself. Talk with yourself. What do I really want? What is that thing that if I'm doing from today and nobody say take, I'll still be happy? What area do I want to provide solution to the world? Is it in the field of finance, in the field of politics, governance, in the field of academics, in the field of technology, in the field of medicine, in the legal field? Think of what I really want. Is it agriculture? I know many successful individuals in agriculture. Either they own hatchery firms, they own poultry firms, they own livestock firms, they own, agricultural firms. It is this individual that feed us in this nation. So dream big, know where you are going. Then let's begin to talk about the mission, which is how to get there. If you rush in, it's used to say, if you rush like Russian, you will jam like German. Don't be like that. I don't know if I've been able to help out.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thanks for that wonderful contribution, sir.
Welcome. Has always been a pleasure.
I really want to appreciate you. Yes, it's been a wonderful session. Even me here, my notepad, I've been writing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I also want to appreciate everyone that took out their time to come over to join us in this wonderful experience. It's worth it. I'm sure you will agree with me. And also, more importantly, because I asterisk it on my own book here, it's not enough to earn a BSc, MSc, or PhD. What everybody now should ask themselves is, what can you do proficiently and professionally outside your academic study? And also, how can you earn a living from your skill? I'm sure you all will agree with me that Mr. Oyebade has done justice to all those aspects. You just need to ask yourself so that you can forge ahead. So, will you still like to drop a keynote for us?
Okay. On the final notes, let me do that by giving out a vote of thanks. I really want to appreciate the organizers of this meeting. I know some of them very well. We have project managers in the house that have done great and wonderful projects. Take for instance, I know of Miss Iyanolua. She's a project manager. She has done so many wonderful things, and I believe she's really a lesson for many individuals. And I also want to say that I believe through the organizers of this meeting, I am open to mentorship for everyone that will need certain advice or the other, especially in the professional field. One of the major things I do is, partner with International Institute of Project and Safety Management as a regional manager to offer training and capacity building in human resource management, project management professional, and health, safety, and environment. And recently, we started with customer relations management and Agile Scrum, which is a leadership methodology in project management. We do this so meticulously that we have network of trainees at different parastatals. One of the arm of IIPSM is human resource consulting. We are being called upon to handle hiring and recruitment exercises for organization. And whenever we do that, some of those information are communicated, to our trainees. So it's very robust. I believe if anyone needs my expertise or that of IIPSM, whether mentorship advice, or you feel you want to take up a professional course, you can reach with me through any of the organizers of this meeting. Just feel free to, relate with them, and we're open to assisting you. On a final note, ensure to understand what education is. Major on the areas you need skill and expertise. Minor on every other field. Why I say minor is because there is no knowledge that is useless. But make sure you strive for the ones that can equip you to be of solution to humanity, because eventually that is where you make a living from. So the four walls of the classroom system is not enough. The world is wide enough to get skills. Another way we didn't mention that you can get skills is through mentorship from various icons that have achieved successes in areas that you want to be successful in. It could be mentorship, it could be, we've talked about internship, deciding to just work, volunteer, see how these things are done. There are secrets you will not know. You will only know them on the job. We call it OJT, on the job training. And so education is very beautiful. Never you say school is a scam. No, appreciate the classroom system, but furthermore, be open to opportunities of learning outside this classroom. If there is one thing you need to gain, which is one thing this meeting is all about, is maximizing opportunities, seeking, assessing educational opportunities outside the classroom. Thank you very much. I've really enjoyed myself today. Sincerely, I'm so glad for this meeting, and I honor and appreciate every one of you on this call. And it is my heartfelt desire that you achieve successes in the areas that you desire to be successful, and you are not just fulfilled, but you make a living and you live a decent life. Thank you very much, organizers. Thank you very much, everyone that has participated up until this point. Stay safe and God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. Some people are still asking for your social media handle. Can you please communicate that to us, sir?
Okay, and so if you go, my Facebook social media handle is Oyebade Joshua Bolu Fair. The same with my LinkedIn social media platform. Those are the two major platforms, my professional platforms that I have or I operate on currently. And so I don't know if it is necessary to share with you my email account or phone number, but you can reach me via any of my social media handle, Oyebade Joshua, at either LinkedIn or Facebook. Let me know what you need, the counsel you need, and I'll be very open at any point in time to be of assistance to you. Any other way you want to reach me, feel free to do that via the organizers of this meeting.
Thank you so much, sir. It's awesome to have you on this program. We appreciate you. Can you join me to appreciate him? Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I hope next time when we call you, you will honor our invitation, sir. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget, in the next 2 weeks, we will be having another powerful webinar. on sustainable environment, nurturing good health and well-being. So on the 23rd of September, we'll be expecting everyone also to join us here for that another impactful webinar. Thank you all. Good night. Sleep well. Thank you.